guys, welcome to It's Just Joe TV. Today's August 12th. Here's another update for the hashtag Chicago trip. Alright, it is, we're in Nebraska, we're outside of Omaha now. We're almost to the Iowa border, so we're going to hit Chicago in around 7 hours from now. And then we get to drive back. But today's video is more about this Title IX issue. The whole Obama administration issued a Title IX DCL, okay, which stands for Dear Colleague Letter, okay. They send it out to all the superintendents of all the school districts over the entire United States. Basically, any public school or any school that takes federal funding. Now, the DCL, the Dear Colleague Letter, is not official law. It is not a law-abiding thing, but they do put in there, and they italicize it, it's considered significant guidance. And it usually comes with a letter of threatening letter, or just a flat-out threat saying, if you don't perform these requests that we're going to pull your federal funding. Now, what they do in this DCL, this Dear Colleague Letter, is they individually threaten the school districts, saying that Title IX, which was established in, I believe, 1972, for gender equality. Now, gender being defined as a male and a female. That's it. Black and white, male and female. It was for equality in the workplace, for equal pay, for no sexual discrimination, making sure that if a man and a woman go for a job, they're getting equal pay based on the their qualifications and everything. But now the Obama administration is technically interpreting. They reinterpret the law and say this is how we are now reinterpreting it. The law was originally not written for transgender or in the process of transgender. It wasn't defined that way, but now they're adding this to it, and they're, like I said, they say it's not law. This is not law, but this is significant guidance, and if you don't do this, we're going to pull your federal funding. So of course they're going to do it. Now, Pastor Carl Gallups has an attorney, and what they have done is, now this is important, you got to pay attention to this part. What they have done is they have a similar Dear Colleague Letter under Title IX that basically requires the school to provide all the same rights that they're making exceptions for with the transgender students to your student in their gender. So if you have a daughter that is a normal daughter, female, doesn't identify with being a male gender or whatever, just simply born a woman, her natural biological gender. Okay, so if you have a daughter, you can take this letter and they say, I want this put in my daughter's file in school. So they have to provide the same rights that they're providing for the transgender, because if you don't do this, what's going to happen is one day you're going to get a phone call, or your daughter's going to come home from school and she's going to say, hey daddy. Now imagine the hypothetical, you got a 13-year-old daughter that is, so you have a 13-year-old daughter, she comes home from school and says, Dad, I was in the girls' shower room after we played soccer on the girls' team, and we were all taking a shower, and all of a sudden, one of the senior boys walked in and took all his clothes off and got into the shower right next to me and started washing himself. Now, in all 50 states, a boy exposing himself to a girl, handling himself and washing himself is a crime. You know, it's a crime. That's illegal in every state in the entire union. And now it can happen in your bathroom. And now it can happen in the girls' locker room, because under this Title IX Act, as soon as a boy in school goes up to any teacher, principal, anybody that works at the school, employed by the school, and says, I identify as a female now, regardless of if they went to school the entire time and they have all the records and they've been a male, if they come up to them and say, I identify more with the female sex and I want access to the girls' shower room right now, they cannot hinder that. They have to immediately provide access to that boy, or they can be sued for discrimination, for sexual discrimination. Now, that opens a lot of doors. For example, you have another 17-year-old boy that looks at this and says, wait, I can go in the girls' bathroom? So he thinks and says, you know what? Goes up to the teacher and says, hey, I identify as a girl today. So they have to let him go in there. Now say he's not a transgender, he doesn't have the surgery, he just wants to go in there. He wants to go in there and look at all the girls. He can, and they can't stop him. They have to actually allow him to do it, regardless. So you got a 13-year-old girl, 17-year-old boys. Now, I don't know where the line crosses, but you know, when you were in high school, there were some people there that were 19. You know, they got held back a year or two, and now they're 19. I don't know where that would be considered. Now you're not allowed to shower with a minor, but that doesn't matter. The point is you need to protect your children, and the only way to do that is for thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to go to carlgallops.com and download his Title IX DCL letter. And it has no affiliation with no organization or no parties. It's basically just the same letter that they're using. They're using the same legal terminology and flipping it back at the school district, saying, if you want to open this door and you want to expose my child to people that have not had the surgery and still have their actual biological parts, and say, oh, I'm a woman today, and expose them to potential predators and people having access into the bathrooms and showers and anything, sleepovers, any facilities, you know, any facilities that they have access to. Here, I'm going to read. This is exactly what the video description says, and you need to check it out. It says, published on August 11, 2016. In May, the Obama administration advised school districts across the country that federal law prohibits discrimination based on a student's gender identity, including discrimination based on a student's transgender status. Quotes. That sounds fine, except that the Department of Education advised that when a school provides sex-segregated activities and facilities, transgender students must be allowed to participate in such activities and access such facilities consistent with their gender identity, end quote, including restrooms, locker rooms, housing, and overnight accommodations. Pastor Carl Gallops has developed a notice of compliance letter parents can download and use at carlgallops.com. That's CARLGALLUPS.com to put their child's school district on notice that they want the same protection of their child's gender identity under Title IX as the Department of Education is insisting on for the transgender students. So basically, go to that website and download that DCL letter. They call it the notice of compliance letter. Download that letter. It doesn't even say anything about Pastor Gallup. So if you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. If you're not, there's no religious nothing. It doesn't matter. Just get the letter, download it. It has a blank form where you write in your child's name, and you say, I want this in my child's folder. So you can protect your children against this, criminal act that the Obama administration is doing, and the superintendents are not willingly but forcefully threatened into doing. So don't so much blame them. Just if you give them enough ammunition, they can say, well, we're not going to do this. We're going to make a single bathroom for the transgender students where they can go and identify as a girl or a boy in there by themselves with all the other ones. Okay, so they can all be in one. So your child has the same rights that they're imposing on them. So I strongly suggest that you go check out that Carl Gallup's website, because this is blatantly another attack on our children. So protect yourself, protect your children. Go print out that form. Title IX is just the beginning, basically. Title IX is just the beginning of what we're going to have to be dealing with. You have transgender, where, okay, somebody's transgender, they go get the surgery, now they're a woman. A woman, in quotations, okay? Not a biological woman, a manufactured, altered woman. And, but no way should anybody that identifies with a woman and they still have all male parts be placed in with women in any situation. Because what that does is allow predators to take advantage of it, and nobody wants that. I'm sure there are people that want it, but nobody wants it that has a child, to put their children in that situation. Because when you drop your kid off for school, when your kid gets on the bus, you expect them to be safe, because the school district is required to physically, mentally, sexually, and emotionally provide safety in all those areas. So go download the what's it called? Right. The notice of compliance letter. Go download Carl Gallup's notice of compliance letter in response to the Title IX DCL. That is significant guidance, where they're going to jack their funding. So that, they already have this stuff. So anytime any student walks up to them and says, I want access right now, like I said, they cannot hinder it in any way. They're going to immediately provide access to that student, because they don't want a lawsuit, and they don't want their funding pulled, because now you don't have a school. So if we flood the schools with this notice of compliance in the numbers of thousands and hundreds of thousands, then they're going to have to deal with it in a way that is not just easy for them. See, it's easier for them just to let the kids go in and say, oh, he's allowed in here now, than it is to start building massive facilities. So keep that in mind. Let's flood the schools with the notice of compliance in response to Obama administration's Title IX reinterpretation. Okay? So that's my update. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit us up on ItsJustJoeTV at gmail.com if you have any questions. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can get that letter of notice of compliance and download it from Carl Gallup's website. Again, that's CarlGallups.com, and you'll see it. You can just print it out. There's no charge or cost. You don't have to give them your name. You don't have to put an email in. Nobody's going to know that you did it. So just print it out, Even if you don't have kids, print it out anyway. If you're a grandparent, print it out anyway. Give it to your daughter and say, here, you know, they might not have heard of it. So just print it out. All right. Facebook, Twitter. We got a lot of updates on Twitter. I'm going to repost this on Twitter and retweet it as many times as I can. Check out the video on Skywatch. It's called it's Derek Gilbert's August 11th news update. Protect Our Kids with Carl Gallows. So check that out on YouTube. And like I said, like us, comment us, favorite. You know, any questions? You know, thanks for watching. See you later. God bless. Stay safe. And remember, there's no name above the name of Jesus Christ. Again, thanks for watching, guys.